In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on August 5th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. San Francisco Giants versus Pittsburgh Pirates. On Tuesday evening, the San Francisco Giants are facing off against the Pittsburgh Pirates for the second game of their 3-game series over at PNC Park. It's shaping up to be an interesting matchup, with both teams bringing their own baggage into this one, and the crowd at the park should make for a lively atmosphere as the evening unfolds. People are probably going to hype up the Giants a bit because they've got Webb starting on the mound, but let's be real, he's just not as sharp when he's pitching away from home compared to his home games. Plus, he's fresh off a really rough July where he gave up a ton, 37 hits and 19 runs over just 27.2 innings, which is the kind of stat line that makes you question if he's lost a step. The Giants as a whole have been pretty lousy since the All-Star break, stumbling through games and not looking like a squad I'd want to put my money on right now. On the flip side, Burrows for the Pirates has been solid lately, only letting in 9 runs across his last 23.1 innings, which shows he's keeping things under control. And the Pirates themselves have been on a bit of a roll, stringing together some wins in the past couple of weeks and playing like they actually believe in themselves. I'm going with the Pirates here. I just don't like the overall feel coming from the Giants' side. As our first pick for this matchup, the Pittsburgh Pirates money line is our full game side pick. Like I mentioned before, these two starting pitchers went head-to-head just last week, and that game ended up being a tight 2-1 affair that stayed well below the total line everyone expected. Burrows was lights out in that one, surrendering only 3 hits while racking up 7 strikeouts and issuing just a single walk, really controlling the pace from start to finish. Webb, for his part, was impressive too, notching 11 strikeouts against this same Pirates lineup and giving up only 1 earned run, though the game dragged into extra innings before wrapping up at 2-1. Both guys are sitting with earned run averages below 4, which tells you they're reliable at keeping runs off the board, and I expect them to deliver another pitching duel that keeps the scoreboard quiet once more. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Twins versus Detroit Tigers. In the middle game of this 3-game series in the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins are squaring off against the Detroit Tigers at Comerica Park on Tuesday evening. It's a matchup that could go either way, but the Tigers have been showing some real spark lately, while the Twins look like they're trying to regroup after a tough stretch. The Detroit Tigers have been playing like one of the stronger squads out there in baseball right now, holding their own and making things happen on the field. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Twins are in a rough spot, still reeling from dealing away a bunch of key players from their big league lineup, which has left them scrambling to find their rhythm. When it comes to hitting with runners in scoring position, there's a huge difference between these two. The Twins rank 23rd in the league with a .703 team OPS in those spots, which isn't cutting it, while the Tigers sit 3rd overall with a solid .787 OPS, showing they know how to cash in when it matters. Plus, Detroit has already taken the last 3 games against Minnesota, building some momentum that could carry over here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Tigers money line is our full game side pick. July wasn't easy on the starting pitchers for this game. Zebby Matthews went 1-2 with a 6.28 earned run average and let opponents hit .300 against him over 14.1 innings in 3 starts, which is the kind of rough patch that can shake anyone's confidence. On the other side, Chris Paddock also struggled, posting a 1-2 record with a 5 earned run average and a 1.26 WHIP across 27 innings in 5 outings, giving up more than you'd like to see from a guy in the rotation. The bullpens aren't much better this season either. The Twins rank 23rd with a 4.42 earned run average from their relievers, meaning they're leaking runs late in games, and the Tigers are 20th with a 4.19 bullpen earned run average heading into Tuesday, so neither side has that lockdown relief you can count on. All that adds up to a game where the bats might get going and push the score higher than expected. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Astros versus Miami Marlins. The Astros and Marlins are keeping their three-game series going down in Miami on Tuesday night. After a solid run, the Marlins saw their streak come to an end in the opener on Monday, but they've still been letting opponents rack up runs, giving up at least 8 in 2 of their last 4 outings, which shows some cracks in their defense. At home this season, Miami's sitting at 27-30, nothing to brag about, while the Astros have been decent on the road with a 28-26 record, holding steady away from their park. Houston desperately needed that win to kick things off, especially with Seattle breathing down their necks in the standings, keeping the pressure on every night. The Astros haven't locked in a starter yet. It might just be a bunch of relievers piecing it together in a bullpen game, which can get dicey. Over on the Miami side, they're rolling with Quantrill, who's been lights out lately, surrendering just 1 earned run total across his past 3 starts that covered 16 innings. The Marlins have picked up their game over the last few weeks, looking sharper overall, and Quantrill's turnaround has been a big part of that spark. As our first pick for this matchup, the Miami Marlins money line is our full game side pick. Quantrill's been tough as nails when it comes to keeping runs off the board in his recent outings. He's given up only 1 run over those last 3 starts, making him a reliable arm right now. The Astros showed up in Miami after a weak showing in Boston, where they managed just 5 runs across 3 games, so their bats have been quiet and struggling to produce. All signs point to this being a close, grinded-out kind of contest that keeps the score low and sneaks under the line for Tuesday night. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Baltimore Orioles versus Philadelphia Phillies. The Baltimore Orioles and the Philadelphia Phillies are keeping their 3-game series rolling on Tuesday evening. It's been a competitive stretch for both sides, with the Orioles hanging tough and the Phillies trying to steady the ship after some uneven play lately. The Baltimore Orioles have shown they can step up against solid opponents in recent weeks. They took 3 out of 4 from the Blue Jays just last week, proving they've got some fight in them. Even in their losses, they've stayed in the mix, with 3 of their last 4 defeats coming by just a single run, which says a lot about their grit. On the other hand, the Philadelphia Phillies have gone 4-4 over their past 8 games, not exactly dominating like they might hope. Digging into the pitching, Orioles starter Dean Kremer has been steady, giving up 3 or fewer runs in 5 of his last 8 starts, keeping his team right in the game more often than not. Phillies pitcher Taijuan Walker, though, has looked vulnerable. He's coughed up 7 homers in his past 3 outings alone, which is a red flag. The Phillies haven't had much luck when he's on the hill, going 2-3 in his last 5 starts. All that tilts things toward Baltimore holding their own here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Baltimore Orioles money line is our full game side pick. Baltimore's offense has been clicking, putting up an average of 7.1 runs per game over their last 10, including that Blue Jays series where they really got going. Walker hasn't been as sharp at home, carrying a 4.78 earned run average in those spots, which could open the door for more scoring. Plus, the Phillies have tallied 33 runs in their past 5 games at home, showing their bats can heat up in familiar territory. Kremer's had a tougher time on the road this year, with a 5.37 earned run average and a 3-5 record, and the Orioles bullpen hasn't inspired much confidence either, sitting at a 4.65 earned run average for the season. The over has hit in 6 of Philly's last 9 home games coming into Monday, so I'm looking for the runs to add up and push this one past the total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Athletics versus Washington Nationals. The Athletics are heading to Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. to square off against the Nationals in what should be an intriguing matchup between 2 teams trying to find some consistency down the stretch. Both squads have hit rough patches lately, but the pitching dynamics here could tip the scales in a way that makes this game worth watching closely, especially with how the starters have been trending. The Athletics roll in after dropping their last couple of games, which has them eager to turn things around, while the Nationals are in a deeper slump, having lost their past 5 straight, leaving them desperate for a spark at home. Taking the mound for Oakland is Luis Severino, who's had a bumpy season overall with a 5-11 record that highlights some of his inconsistencies, but he's shown signs of life in his most recent outings. Over those last 3 starts, he's thrown 17 innings and allowed just 5 earned runs, which is a solid bounce back. And even better, the Athletics have come out on top in all 3 of those contests, riding that momentum. Facing him will be a Nationals lineup that's been ice cold, hitting just .232 over their past 5 games, and they've particularly struggled against Severino historically, managing only a .143 average in 42 at-bats against him, which doesn't bode well for their chances of breaking out. Beyond Severino, Oakland's bullpen has had its share of issues this year, but they've tightened up in recent games, contributing to an overall uptick in the team's pitching performance that's starting to show promise. On the flip side, the Nationals are sending Mackenzie Gore to the hill, and he's looked shaky in 2 of his last 3 starts. In fact, across those 3, he's logged 12.2 innings but given up 17 hits, 10 walks, and a whopping 15 runs, which explains why Washington has dropped every one of those games. To make it tougher, they're up against an Athletics offense that's been heating up, batting .279 over the last 5 games and looking capable of capitalizing on mistakes. And don't get me started on the Nationals bullpen. It's ranked dead last in the majors statistically, a point driven home by the 27 runs they've surrendered in their past 5 outings alone, which is just brutal. When you break it down, Severino's heading the right way, Gore's sliding in the opposite direction, and that Nationals relief crew is anything but reliable, all pointing to Oakland having the edge here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Athletics money line is our full game side pick. The Athletics have been part of some higher scoring affairs lately, going over the total in 3 of their last 5 games overall, and the same holds for 3 of Severino's past 5 starts, where the runs have added up more often than not. With over 150 homers under their belt this season, Oakland's power should translate well in Nationals Park, which is known as one of the friendlier venues for hitters across the league, giving bats a real chance to shine. Meanwhile, the Nationals have pushed over the total in 5 consecutive games, and in 3 of Gore's last 4 starts, the scores have climbed high enough to cash the over, suggesting their games aren't staying low-key these days. Nationals Park tends to favor offenses like these, especially on a Tuesday where conditions could let the hits and runs flow freely, so I'm anticipating a game that gets lively and racks up plenty of points from both sides. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.